So if you clicked on this video, then you probably have a Jeep Grand Cherokee just like the one behind me, and you're looking to get into some cheap budget-friendly mods that are going to be under $100. So stay tuned, because I'm going to give you guys a long list of things that you guys can do to your Jeep to personalize it and customize it just a little bit more to your own liking. Now, I hope you guys are having a great day. If you're new here, make sure you click that subscribe button down below right now to be notified when new videos go live. The first thing that I'm going to recommend for your Jeeps is going to be Reflector Tint. Now, this could be your tail lights, which you can tint completely, or you could do a custom setup like the ones that I'm showing here on the screen. In the front on your headlights, there's also a reflector on the side that I always recommend you guys go ahead and tint out. It's going to be between $20 and $50, so coming in way below that $100 mark, and overall it's going to completely change the look of the back of your car if you get the ones like I have. I'll have links for everything down below for you guys to check out, so if you're looking for any of these products that I mentioned in this video, go ahead and check the description. They'll all be linked to the top of the description. Now, to install these, it's super simple. Anyone can do, and you're basically just going to possibly need a heat gun, but for the most part you're just going to go ahead and stick them on and make sure they're all lined up. I'll have videos for all these linked in the Jeep playlist down below as well if you want to check out the installation process by me. The next one's going to go for the halogen bulbs. If you guys have the halogen headlights and you do not have the nice upgraded high-end headlights, you're going to want to go ahead and swap out those bulbs. Now, to do that, it's kind of a little bit of a pain, but I do recommend getting the LED headlight bulbs upgraded, and along with that, the fog lights. Even if you do both, you're probably coming in at around $80 or maybe even closer to $50, but I'd say $80 because you want to get some high-end bulbs. You don't want to get something cheap in your headlight that's going to go ahead and blow out. It's kind of an important thing when you're driving at night, so make sure you guys go ahead and get a decent bulb. I'll have the ones that I recommend down below, of course, which I also did the install video on. Along with that, I'm going to go ahead and say LED bulbs. Now, LED bulbs on the interior rather than the outside this time, because it doesn't matter which model you have. I believe even SRTs and Trackhawks, the interior LEDs are still halogen bulbs, which is kind of crazy to me, but that's what they're going ahead and putting in your vehicle. So to swap those out, it's not the worst for the installation, fairly simple, and I would say that you could probably do all between $60 and $80, maybe even less, but that's going to go ahead and swap everything out on the inside, and it'll probably take you a 20-minute install overall, and it's definitely worth it because the interior is somewhere you want it to be nice and bright at night for you to be able to see what you're doing if you turn on the lights or whatever. So I know it's one of those mods that's not really changing the look of your vehicle, but it's going to overall help the performance and help how your vehicle functions for you at night. So I definitely recommend you go ahead and do that. Now, depending on where you live, this could be a huge one or this could be a small one, and that's going to be slush mats / floor mats. You could do WeatherTech, or I always recommend the Mopar Jeep branded ones because they're fairly cheap compared to the WeatherTech ones. I think they're maybe around half the price or around the same price, and overall I think they're a little bit better quality. The floor liners from WeatherTech are very thin, and overall I really like them. I had them in my truck before this, but the ones that came with this are a little bit heavier duty, and I kind of just like them a little bit more in my Jeep. So floor mats / slush mats, just like these ones here, are going to definitely help you and protect your vehicle. This again isn't a mod that's going to change the appearance, but it will over time because it's going to protect your floors and your carpets and make them just a little bit cleaner when you go to sell it in the future or when you go to give it to your kid or something like that. Now, the next thing, I'm going to go ahead and say red calipers. Now, this is going to be between $25 and maybe $50 depending on which kit you go with, but to do it yourself, it's super simple, and it was one of the first mods that I did to my Jeep when I actually got it. Now, obviously you don't have to do red. I'm just going with red because it's a very common color because of Brembo brakes and it being the common color that they have. That's what I went with because I like the look of red accents on my vehicles, but you could go with pretty much any color that they offer. I recommend the Duplicolor set and just the brush on kind because you can get a little bit more precise rather than the spray on ones. Takes a little bit less prep work, and overall it still comes out really, really good. Again, for the install on this one, it's fairly simple. If you guys don't have any mechanical knowledge at all, it might be a little bit out of your skill range because you are going to have to jack up the vehicle, pull the wheel off to get to all the different calipers, and I recommend probably doing 2 at once, so you need to really get it up on jack stands or a lift. So if you guys are not comfortable and confident in doing that, then I wouldn't say do it yourself, but maybe find someone that can do it for you. It can really change the exterior look of the vehicle, either with the stock wheels or in my case with the aftermarket wheels. It can just make it just look a little bit better and just kind of pop a little bit of red into your Jeep. This one I recommend on every single vehicle that there is, and that's going to be window tint. Now, you don't have to do your windshield. I have 35% on my windshield. You don't have to go ahead and do the windshield, but I always recommend that you're going to match the front 2 windows to the back. So if you guys don't know, those are roughly 20% from the factory on all the rear windows, and then obviously the front 2 you're going to want to match with 20%. It can be illegal where you are, but for the most part, if you're just doing the front 2 at only 20%, you should be able to slide by and not get too much hassle with it. If you guys are in a place that you will get hassled by it a lot, then maybe don't do it, but I always recommend it, and I think it changes and makes the vehicle look a lot better, and I think it makes them look a lot more customized and different than just a standard vehicle. You'll know that you've at least done something to it, which means you're not just a little stock Jeep Grand Cherokee rolling around. Now this one's going to be more towards people who have the altitude package or black wheels on their Jeep, and that's going to be to get black lug nuts. Now black lug nuts will rust as you take them on and off. They'll get scraped up and stuff like that. It can happen from rock chips and stuff like that as well, and then they will start to rust and not look that good. So on the flip side, you could also just get black lug nut covers. It's kind of like this vinyl rubbery material that just slides over top. Super simple for you to do that if you guys are not, again, comfortable taking your wheel off or taking the lug nuts off and swapping them and torquing them down. If you're not comfortable doing that, then you could just always pop on the lug covers. Just note that the little pliers that come with them is not the best to remove them. I do recommend a pair of actual pliers to remove them, so just for future reference, if you do end up doing those, it is kind of a pain and you are going to have to rip them off with some pliers. Now this one is a little bit iffy and is up to your personal preference, and that's going to go ahead and be the tinted plate cover. On mine, I love the tinted plate cover because it goes with everything else, because I have lots of tint and blacked out things on my vehicle. It's basically stormtrooped out in a way, and it's just black and white with little red accents. So the tinted plate cover really adds to that and kind of takes away from the bright blue and white that's on my plate. Also with that, I have a silicone plate frame, which I always recommend as well, especially if you have the upgraded sound package with the subwoofer, because I found that mine was rattling against the back. So that's a really cheap mod for you guys to do. I think that was like $10, $15, $20 each, and that will be tinted plate frames for the front and back. You'll notice that the stock pedal covers just come with a plain black rubbery cheap looking pedal cover that looks like it could be out of like a 2001 Hyundai Elantra. Basically it's going to be the same thing as that. There's no real personalization or customization to it. In the SRTs and stuff, they get a nice metal silver one with some little dots that you guys can see here on the screen that I have in mine now. Now you could go ahead and buy the Mopar ones, which are going to push $100, between like $80 and $100. But in my case, I just got some knockoff ones, which have been perfectly fine. They've been actually amazing. I have no issues, no complaints at all with them. The only thing that sucks is the install, which is a little bit of a pain. Again, video up there for you guys to check out. Now on the different trim levels of the Jeep Grand Cherokee, there's going to be different grille inserts as well as outer rings. So some might have chrome, some might have these weird looking colors. On the altitude package, which mine is, the grille inserts come with the outer ring black, but the inside grille insert is actually a chrome. It looks awful and it has to go. So to do that, I believe it was around $40, $45, $50. So most of these are going to come in around that $50 mark. I feel like right in the middle of that under $100 budget. And I think it completely transforms the front end. You can just tell the difference between one that has done that and one that hasn't. It just looks so much better, and it really does add that little personalized touch and kind of shows that you guys are doing little things to your car. That's one thing that I love about these under $100 mods, is some of them are going to make the car look completely different and show that you're actually doing some customization for such a low price. Now this is probably the one that I get asked about the most, and that's the red key fob. So I guess it's not really a mod that goes on your car, but you're gonna have your keys on you if you're driving your car or pretty much wherever you're going. So mine doesn't have any logo on the back. I think you might be able to find them with either Jeep logo or Dodge logo or something like that. I know they usually have like a Hellcat or an SRT kind of logo on the back, so you guys could look around for that and see if you could find one. But I just have the plain red one because I'm not trying to imitate that I have like a Hellcat or an SRT or something like that, which obviously the SRTs don't even come with red key fobs, so I don't know why they would have that. I guess the SRT, technically Hellcat, SRT, I don't know why they have that, but you guys could probably look into it a little bit more. But if you did enjoy this video, make sure you smash that like button down below, help the YouTube algorithm, help this video get out to more people, of course help the channel grow. Consider subscribing to the channel. We're about to pass 10K subscribers, and I would love to have you guys as part of the family. There's new videos here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 3 p.m. here on the channel. Don't forget to check out Shop Lifestyle, get yourself some lifestyle merch. But thanks for watching, guys. Peace.
I feel like I am losing control.